You want to know the kind of text that makes a man stop in his tracks, drop whatever he's doing, and come running for you? See, a man's mind works in a very simple yet tricky way. It's not always about what you say, it's about how you make him feel. The problem most women have is they send paragraphs trying to explain, to justify, or to ask where things are going. But that's not the move. The move is to keep it short, keep it confident, and keep him guessing. You got to understand something about men. We are wired to chase. That's in our nature. But here's the part most people don't get. The chase doesn't start with what's in front of us. It starts with what we can't quite figure out. See, when everything about you is laid out on the table from the jump, there's nothing left for a man to work for. And when there's nothing to work for, there's no fire. That's why mystery is your biggest weapon. That's why curiosity is what keeps a man coming back. Now, when I say mystery, I'm not talking about playing childish games or making him jealous on purpose. I'm talking about holding a little bit of yourself back, not in a cold way, but in a confident way. You don't have to tell him your whole life story on the first few dates. You don't have to answer every single text the second it comes in. You don't have to let him know exactly what you're doing 24/7. Let him wonder. Let him ask himself, what's she up to? That question right there is the spark that gets him chasing. When a man doesn't have all the answers, he starts working to get them. That's how men are built. We want to solve the puzzle. And if the puzzle is you, that man will start putting in time, effort, and energy to figure you out. If you're an open book with every page already highlighted, he'll skim through and move on. But if he can feel there's more to you than what he's seeing right now, he's going to stick around because he wants to see the rest. Here's another thing. Mystery works because it makes a man imagine. And when he's imagining, he's investing. Think about it. The moments you don't see him are the moments he's picturing you. Maybe he's wondering what you're doing tonight. Maybe he's thinking about what you meant when you said that little playful line. Maybe he's still curious about a story you didn't quite finish telling. That imagination is fuel, and as long as he's imagining, he's chasing. But here's where a lot of women make the mistake. They try to be mysterious by being distant. That's not the same thing. Mystery isn't about shutting down, ignoring him for days, or making him feel unwanted. It's about being warm and engaging when you're with him, but still leaving a little room for curiosity when you're not. You can laugh with him, have a great time, even share a personal story, but you don't give everything. You save some pieces for later. That's how you keep the energy alive. Men respect what they have to earn. If you hand over all your attention, your time, and your energy before he's proven himself, you take away his chance to work for you. But when you give him just enough to feel a connection and still keep a little back, you're telling him, if you want more of me, you're going to have to put in the effort. That right there flips his competitive switch. And once that switch is on, he's chasing. Think of it like this. When you walk past a bakery and you smell something amazing, you want to go in and see what it is. That smell is the mystery. It's giving you just enough to know you want it, but not enough to satisfy you. You got to step in. You got to look around. You got to take action. That's exactly how mystery works in relationships. You give him the scent, but you don't hand him the whole cake. You want a man to value you. You want him to stay interested. You want him to keep showing up. Then you have to give him something to reach for. Curiosity is that something. Every time he's wondering about you, every time he's asking himself questions, every time he's trying to figure you out, he's investing in you. And the more he invests, the more he's going to chase. Let me tell you something about men and texting. Our attention span is short, real short. We are not sitting there analyzing a 5-paragraph essay you sent at midnight. We are skimming, maybe catching a few key points and then moving on. That's not because we don't care, it's because we're wired differently. When you want a man's attention, you got to hit him quick, sharp, and confident. You can say more in 5 words with the right energy than you can in 50 sentences that sound needy or over-explained. Most women think the way to get through to a man is to pour out everything, every detail, every thought, every emotion, all in one message. And I get it, you're trying to be clear, you're trying to express yourself. But here's the truth. When you send long messages, most men don't read them the way you hope. They either skim through, pick out the one thing that sounds negative, or feel overwhelmed and shut down. You lose your power. The real power comes from brevity. You send him a short, confident text, and you leave it there. You don't explain it to death. You don't follow it up with 10 more messages trying to clarify. That's when a man stops, looks at his phone and thinks, wait, what does she mean by that? And now he's thinking about you. That's the sweet spot, when your words are still sitting in his mind hours later. Confidence in your words is everything. Let's say he cancels a plan last minute. You could write a whole thing about how you were looking forward to it, how you rearranged your schedule, how you feel disappointed. Or you could say in 5 words, your loss, not mine. You think he's going to just brush that off? No, he's going to sit there replaying it in his head because it's short, it's strong, and it doesn't give him the comfort of knowing exactly what you're feeling. It makes him wonder. Short messages work because they leave space for his imagination to fill in the blanks. And trust me, when a man starts imagining, that's when he's hooked. He'll start chasing not just your attention, but the answer to the question your text created. That's how you control the energy of the conversation without looking like you're even trying. And here's another thing. When you're brief, you project self-respect. You're showing him that you don't need to explain yourself to be understood. You don't need to beg for attention. And you're not out here fighting for a spot in his life. You know your worth and you speak like it. That's attractive. That's magnetic. That's what makes a man lean in instead of pulling away. Now, this doesn't mean you should be cold or dry in every conversation. The tone matters. You can still be playful and warm with short texts. Don't get too excited. We'll see about that, or you wish. All of these are short, but they carry personality. They spark a reaction. They make him want to respond. That's the goal, not to dump information, but to start a back and forth where he's invested enough to keep it going. And don't be afraid of silence after you send a short, confident text. That silence is powerful. Most people rush to fill it because they're uncomfortable. But when you leave it there, you're giving him the space to process, to miss you, and to feel that little urge to reach back out. That's the chase working in real time. Think about commercials. They don't give you the whole movie. They give you a quick clip, just enough to grab your interest and make you want more. That's exactly what your short, confident messages should do. You're not writing the whole story in one text. You're giving him a preview that makes him want to see the rest. So the next time you pick up your phone and you feel like sending him a whole monologue, stop, take a breath, boil it down to one sharp, confident line. Let him chew on that. Let him wonder. Let him chase. Because when you talk less, but with power, every word lands heavier. And when every word lands heavier, you don't have to do the chasing. He will. You ever notice how when something is too easy, people don't value it as much? That goes double for men in relationships. Men are hunters by nature. And I don't care how modern the world gets, that part of our wiring has not changed. We like a little challenge. We like something we have to work for, and we respect the things we earn. The problem is when you start acting needy, always available, always saying yes, always trying to prove your worth, you take away the chase. You make the game too easy, and when the game is too easy, we lose interest. Now, let me make this clear. A challenge is not about being rude, cold, or playing mind games. A challenge is about having standards and sticking to them, even when you like a man. It's about being playful in the way you hold your ground, about letting him know you can't just stroll in here and get all of me without earning it. That's what lights a fire in a man. He feels like he's got to show up, step up, and keep up. When you're playful about it, you keep it fun instead of confrontational. Let's say he texts you last minute to hang out and you already have plans. Instead of dropping everything to run to him, you say, tempting, but I'm booked. Try again sooner next time. That's not needy. That's a playful challenge. You're telling him he's going to have to think ahead and make an effort, but you're saying it with a smile. That kind of energy keeps him hooked because it's not rejection, it's an invitation to rise to your level. Men respond to that because it taps into our competitive side. We want to win, we want to prove we can get what we want, and when what we want is a woman with confidence and standards, we'll run ourselves ragged to prove we're worthy. But the second you start acting like you accept crumbs just to have him around, you've already lost your leverage. Neediness says, I need you to choose me. A playful challenge says, I'm already good, but you could be part of this if you bring your best. Here's the beauty of a playful challenge. It creates tension, and tension is what keeps the spark alive. Without it, things get dull real quick. You've seen it happen. In the beginning, he's chasing you, calling, texting, planning dates, and then slowly it fades because there's nothing left to win. But when you keep that playful challenge alive, he feels like the chase never really ends. That's how you keep him engaged long after the honeymoon phase. Now, you got to balance it. Too much challenge with no warmth makes you seem uninterested. Too much warmth with no challenge makes you seem desperate. The sweet spot is showing him that you enjoy his company, you're attracted to him, but you're not handing over your heart and your time on a silver platter without him putting in the work. And when he does put in the work, you reward it. You show appreciation. You let him know he's moving in the right direction. That's how you train a man, yes, train, to keep doing the things that make you happy. Men are simple in that way. When we see effort pays off, we keep putting in effort. When we see we can slack off and still get the same results, we slack off. A playful challenge keeps us sharp. It makes us want to impress you, makes us want to plan better, makes us want to be on our best game. And we actually enjoy that because deep down, we want to feel like we earned a woman like you. So stop thinking you have to be overly available, overly accommodating, or overly expressive to keep a man's attention. What keeps his attention is the thrill of winning you over every single day. And when you can give him that wrapped up in fun, flirtation, and confidence, you'll have him chasing you without even realizing he's been running this whole time. Timing is everything when it comes to making a man chase you. You can have the perfect words, the right energy, and the best intentions. But if you send that message at the wrong time, it can fall flat. Men don't just respond to what you say, they respond to when you say it. That's why catching him off guard, hitting him when he's not expecting you to, is one of the most powerful moves you can make. See, if you only text him when he texts you first, or only respond right after he messages, he's going to get used to a rhythm. And when a man gets used to something, it stops standing out. But when you break that rhythm, when you pop up out of nowhere with something short, confident, and intriguing, you create a spike in his emotions. He's going about his day thinking about work or whatever, and then, boom, your message hits his phone. Now you're in his head. The element of surprise is key here. Men love it when things feel fresh, and timing your messages so they come when he's least expecting them keeps that freshness alive. Maybe he hasn't heard from you all day, and then late at night, just as he's winding down, you drop something playful like, "You missing out," or maybe he's been a little slow to respond, and just when he thinks you're done reaching out, you send something light like, "Still thinking about that look you gave me." That timing flips the energy because it wasn't predictable. And it's not just about surprise, it's about controlling the emotional impact. If you send a confident message when he's too distracted, tired, or expecting it, it won't land as strong. But when you send it during a quiet moment or after a little bit of space, you're more likely to have his full attention. He's more likely to pause, reread it, and really take it in. That pause, that's where the chase starts building again. Think about it. The most memorable moments in life often come unexpectedly. If you always know what's coming, there's no excitement. Relationships work the same way. You want to create moments that feel like a little joke to his system, moments where he thinks, man, I wasn't ready for that, but I liked it. Those moments stick and they make him want more. Now, I'm not telling you to play games or keep him waiting just to mess with his head. I'm saying be intentional with your timing. If you want your words to have weight, don't throw them out just because you feel like you have to respond right now. Sometimes the best move is to wait until the energy shifts, until you know the moment will make the biggest impact. It's not about ignoring him. It's about letting the anticipation build. And here's the thing, when you time your messages right, you also show that you're not sitting around waiting on him. You've got your own life, your own rhythm, and he has to fit into your flow, not the other way around. That energy is magnetic. Men chase women who seem busy, who seem fulfilled, who seem like their world doesn't revolve around him. When your timing says, I'm reaching out because I want to, not because I need to, you've already shifted the power dynamic in your faith. This works in both the early stages and deep into a relationship. In the beginning, it keeps him curious. Later on, it keeps him from getting too comfortable. Even if you've been together for years, a well-timed, unexpected message can spark that same energy you had when you first started talking. It reminds him that you're still that exciting, unpredictable woman he chased in the beginning, and he'll keep chasing if you keep giving him those moments. So remember, it's not just the words. It's the moment you drop them. The right words at the wrong time are just noise. The right words at the perfect time, that's when you make him stop, smile, and start running right back toward you. If you really want a man to chase you, you've got to touch his emotions. Men might look like they're all logic and no feelings, but the truth is we're just